Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 525 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Good to be with you. I'm really glad that you're here. I mean, we're living in the most exciting times, don't you think? And it's even more exciting if you're part of that movement towards personal empowerment and personal responsibility, especially for your own health and wellness, and also creating your own wealth. I already know that you're doing that because you're listening to the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast, right? So many times people think self-improvement is just some woo-woo thing you do to get yourself back to the gym as a New Year goal, but by Super Bowl, you're right back to where you were when you made the goal in the first place. Have you ever experienced that? I know I have. I don't make New Year's goals anymore, though. I've just decided that every day can be a new day for a new beginning. We don't have to wait for the new year to be healthy or mindful or wealthy or whatever our goal is. We can just start today taking one little action that we know we can keep doing. And then once that becomes a habit, we take another one. And before you know it, it's 5 years down the road, and all these little shifts and habits have created a life that is very different than the trajectory that we were once on. You know, people are drawn to these fast, quick, get rich quick or get skinny quick schemes because we really don't want to have to do the hard work. But it doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be consistent. So saving a little money and putting it back each week, or cutting back on sugar a little bit more each day, cutting your alcohol intake little by little. Big changes don't happen overnight. And if they do, a lot of times they're not sustainable. Big change happens little by little over time. Now, that's not really what I wanted to talk about on this episode, but I thought I got a thought that sometimes we think we want things only if they happen fast, but it's going to be summer, whether you get fit or not. If you are fortunate to live, old age is going to happen, whether you've saved money or not. 4 years from now is going to happen, whether you get a college degree or not. So decide exactly what you want and then go after it, little by little. You just have to start today. And if you mess it up today, tomorrow's a new day to start again. All right. So recently, actually really recently, like yesterday, we were traveling, and sitting in front of us on the airplane, there was this tall, beautiful blonde woman and her mother, and they were both dressed very well, and they were very elegant. So of course I noticed them. I loved their outfits, and I noticed it because I thought how put together they looked. It was just the two of them traveling. So when we got to baggage claim, I saw a man walking up to them, and I knew exactly who. I knew that he was the husband and the father because he was tall and dressed perfectly. He was very healthy looking and fit, just like they were. I mean, they looked like they went together. And oftentimes when we're out and about, we see that, right? Like people kind of hang out with the same type of people. I mean, I'll see a family and the mom and dad, if they're really overweight and they're wearing, kind of sloppy t-shirts or sloppy sweatpants, or, usually when you see the kids, they are too. They look exactly the same. Now, rarely you'll see a family that has one person that's extremely put together and healthy looking and everyone else is not, but that's really rare. So does this mean that it's all genetics? Does this mean that our health and our life and our destiny is predetermined? Does it mean that we're not able to break away from the culture in which we were raised? Just how much do we control? I think society hasn't really done a good job of counteracting what Wayne Dyer calls the big lie. In the book Real Magic that I've been reading, he lists 5 aspects of the big lie that most just assume are true. So things like, I can't help the way I am. I've always been this way. Or it's my nature. I inherited who I am and it can't be changed. Or my personality is controlled and predetermined. And if you look around society, you see that it seems like that's true. But is it? Is it really? Or is it just that no one's told us, hey, if you don't like your life, you can change it? It is possible, most definitely. But it does matter a lot who you are around. I mean, it takes a lot more mental discipline to be healthy and fit when no one in your family is healthy and fit. If everyone in your peer group is obese, you probably are too. If everyone in your peer group drinks alcohol, you probably do too. If everyone in your peer group exercises, you probably do too. And if they eat healthy, odds are so do you. So what does that mean for people who desire to be healthy and fit, but their peer group isn't? Well, for starters, you have to work a lot harder. And if you acknowledge that to be true, then the hard work won't seem like such a drag because you already know going into it that it's going to be hard. Now, my mom and dad and big sister, they don't eat like I do. So when I visit them, I pack most of the food I'm going to eat. Now, my mom's a sweetheart and usually will make a dinner that I can eat, but often she'll make my favorite cookies too, and I eat them. But I know going into it that that's going to be the case, which is why I pack my other healthy foods so that I'm not completely derailed every time I visit. The reality is that if I eat on the 80-20 plan, which is 80% whole foods and 20% doesn't have to be whole foods, then I try to save the 20% for when I go out with friends or when I visit my family so that overall I still come out hitting my goals. You see, we have to be more intentional. The more intentional we are, the healthier we are. I also have a certain way that I like to look and dress, and I don't live in a city where there's a lot of fashion. So I have to train my eye in another way. Somehow, if I can find a way to do that, which I have, I follow online blogs and Pinterest. Now, my little sister Molly lives in Nashville, and there's a lot more there, so sometimes she helps me out too. But usually I'm trying to follow influencers online that I like to dress like. I mean, they're in a way my peer group for fashion. Now, it's not perfect, but I know that the only way I'm going to live the life I want to live and feel the way I want to feel, I have to maintain control. I can't be a victim to my circumstance. And that's what it means to live on purpose. You don't just do what the people around you do because that's what's popular or easy. You have a plan in mind of how you want to be, and then you put yourself in situations where that plan can be possible. I mean, we recently were on a sailboat for 2 weeks with some of our very best friends. We love this trip. We do it every year. And we had such an amazing time. But we thought ahead of time about what we were possibly going to eat on the sailboat. And we bought a portable Ninja. It's one of those little blenders. And we packed it in our luggage so that we could make our green protein smoothie every day, which we did. We actually made a green smoothie every single day. That way, at least one meal we knew we could control, and we knew we would be able to eat one meal that's packed full of nutrition. Now, we also ate dessert and had drinks and French fries and all the things, but we were intentional about at least one meal of the day. Small steps, remember, they lead to big change. So we didn't try to be perfect. We just tried to be consistent in the one area where we knew we could. Now, one of my friends on the boat decided that she was going to be not drink alcohol the whole month of February, and which happened to be midway through our trip. But she actually inspired me to do the same. Now, I've actually allowed myself a couple exceptions, Valentine's Day being one of them, but small steps. That's what I'm talking about. Not shooting for perfection, but shooting for consistency in the thing that you've committed to, and do it in a way that you know that you'll be able to keep it up. So if you know you're going to have a drink on a Valentine's night, then make sure you give yourself an exception. And also, you see, our peer group matters a lot. But it does not have to determine our every action or our every habit. Not everybody else on the boat ate a green smoothie. In fact, none of them did. Maybe once or twice they would have a little bit of a drink of one. But we were different from our peer group in that way. So there's only one person that can determine what your habits are, and that's you. And you could be the one that makes a difference in someone else's life too. My sweet big sister, I've talked about her a lot. She's been staying with us a few times, and I would make her a green smoothie. And she decided that she wanted to do that back home too. And so she's been doing it every day since she's been back home. You see, pick and choose the habits you pick up from the people you're around most, because everyone has habits, right? It's just you have to decide which ones you're going to pick up. It's not their fault if you decide to eat the way they eat. And really, that applies to everything. Got to remember that. You have the power to say no. My challenge to you today is for you to be in charge of your daily habits and pick and choose what habits you pick up from the people around you. Eric, my husband, did something one day, it's been a while ago, that it seemed like something I would do. He's very logical and very methodical. But whatever he did, I don't remember what it was. But I laughed and I said, "You're not supposed to pick up my bad habits. I'm supposed to pick up your good ones." We had a good laugh about that. But in reality, if we aren't careful, we will pick up bad habits easily, but good ones usually have to be intentional. Intentional by you, for you. Share this with 3 people who inspire you to be better. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.